Hi there. I just wanted to show you guys our 2023 Ford RAPTOR R. We're just starting this Fiberworx wide body kit install. So we thought we would show you guys some quick little videos and pictures of what it looks like when you first get it out of the box and what it's going to look like. I'll tell you, after doing many kits, it's pretty standard for a lot of these fiberglass kits to fit this way. So if you guys are expecting to bolt this kit on and just scuff it and shoot it, you can do that, but it's not going to look anywhere like the caliber of the rest of the truck. So when you pull the parts out, you'll notice that most of the bolt holes they're like sort of ghosted over with product. You can see where the factory hole is, but the hole isn't complete for you. You will have to drill those holes out. I try to make the holes as small as I can because you're going to end up probably elongating these holes. So if you make giant holes and you miss the mark, you're going to have a really giant hole when you start moving parts around. So you got to kind of like sort of sneak up on everything, and this is how I do it. So I try to I'll make each one of those bolt holes and put the bolts into each one of them and just attach the part and see what I see. The hood hasn't been moved and the door hasn't been moved from factory. So you can see the pretty big mismatch here once you have somewhat decent elevation up here. So if you were to lift this part up to where the bottom of it is even with the hood, you'll be so proud up here that you'll having to do some pretty serious work up there. I'd rather do my glass work down here if I had to, so I usually try to work from the top down. You can see the elevation of the kit right here, how it's kind of pooched up. You can't just start bolting these things down as hard as you want either. They're not made to really flex that much. They'll crack very easily. You can see too, like the gap here is very inconsistent. You can see my Sharpie marks are kind of just following along the factory line. I'll show you the other side of the truck in a second, which still has the factory part, so you can get a comparison. So it doesn't look bad on film, but when you look at it in person, you'll see that there's just a lot of misalignment between, especially in elevations from one panel to the next. Even if you do have a consistent gap, you'll see a pretty big misalignment between all things considered. The other thing you'll see with these kits is that you can see how the body lines don't stay crisp. They sort of like fog and fan away. This doesn't look very good in comparison with the rest of the truck. Down here too, you'll see like big radius holes where somebody got too excited with maybe the mold plug or something as they were going together with it, but in any case, it's missing material there and too much material here. I try to use masking tape templates from the factory parts and switch them over, so that helps save time. I use a Sharpie to help ghost these lines in so that you can see exactly where you need to end up. Even if I'm not cutting back to these lines, I'm still definitely following them as a reference. So let me show you the other side. Perfect elevation all the way back. This is undisturbed right from Ford. You can see the elevation of the panels is fairly close. They start to move some lines around that sort of are kind of vague and don't make sense, but they're still consistent and uniform. You can see the gap, same thing, especially with elevation from one panel to the next. So copying that on a kit that doesn't really have the original plugs just aren't that nice. It's just not cost effective. The idea is that they will kind of give you a part that's close, and then it's intended for you to do what I'm talking about here. It's just a lot of guys get really frustrated. They'll pull it out of the box, try to bolt it on, and it's stressing and cracking and nothing lines up and they got bolts going everywhere. You just really got to take your time and have the expectation that it's going to take some time. So they're definitely not that fast. But anyways, I'll keep you guys going here as I move through it, see what you think.